Welcome back, whisky fans. December the 14th, Christmas is rapidly approaching, or whatever you decide to celebrate. Winter solstice, Kwanzaa, or nothing at all, because it doesn't really matter. But what we got, what really matters is good whisky. And have we got a good whisky on December the 14th? Well, that's certainly different. There's no heavy sherry or heavy peat on this one that I can smell yet. And it's possibly slightly paler, because we had a run of kind of golden syrup coloured whiskies for a little while there. Very different. The colour's not, though. Probably slightly paler, but similar kind of golden, diluted golden syrup colour, I'd say. Is it natural colour? Who knows? Definitely seems quite punchy on the nose. Seems like, and this may or may not make sense to you, but quite a solid standard whisky. It's really got quite a punch and a prickle on the nose, so I'd guess this is probably 46 to 48%. Maybe a bit more. It might just be that I'm taking two deep sniffs of this, trying to get the flavours out quickly. But it's got a punchier aroma than probably over half of the whiskies that we've had in this Advent calendar so far, I think. Quite a dusty, gristy note to it. That's kind of what I mean by a solid standard whisky, that it's not got any gimmicks. It's not heavily peated, it's not had any sherry, I don't think. A little bit of a lemon fondant note. Barley sugar, dusty grist, flowery. I mean flour as in grist flour. Slight citrus. Quite musty as well. A musty, malty, gristy note. A little bit doughy, a little bit starchy. So I think some people might try a whisky like this and make the mistake of thinking that it's boring, but it's not. That lemon and the starchiness, which is possibly a bit of youth, but not in an overly bad way, at least not on the nose, because I haven't tasted this yet. Lemon and a little bit of like clementine, like orange pith. Not like orange juice, but just the bitter quality that you get from like orange pulp and orange pith. But it smells like a really well made standard whisky, if you get what I mean. Let's have a sip. More of an oranginess now on the palate. I think I do like this style of whisky. So it doesn't seem like it's seen any obvious sherry, or not much. And it really highlights the malt, and it highlights the gristy cereal side of malt, because maltiness can present itself as a cereal note or a barley sugar note. And if it's a barley sugar note, that can turn into 1,000 different things. But this really has a strong cereal note on it. It's kind of like when you go to a distillery and they pass the pot of grains around to you, the unpeated stuff, and you smell it and it's got that dusty flour note to it. Apologies if you can hear some banging going on. There's been building work going on at multiple houses in this area for a few weeks. It's not annoying at all. Shut up. kind of a little bit in two minds about this one as to whether I want to say that it's a slightly dry, austere flavour on the palate or not, because it is. It's all about that gristiness and grains and cereal, but it's also got a little on the palate, just on the palate, not on the nose, but on the palate it's got a little bit of a sweet orange note. If that's an affordable whiskey though, I would definitely be buying this one, because it's a type of whiskey that I really like. It's your standard whiskey. It's not got any gimmicks, it's just quality. It seems like it's probably a 46% presentation like the Bunnahabhain 12 that we had yesterday, but without the sherry. That is an absolute nightmare for the leaderboard though, because we've now, reading down the leaderboard, we've got young heavily peated, we've got sherry, kind of like a nutty sherry, and in third place we've got the Bunnahabhain sweet sherry, and in fourth place we've got heavily peated and red wine, and then we've got the Bocan, and then Fettercairn, and the Tobermory 12. So really, in the top 6 on the leaderboard, we've got 6 entirely different whiskies. So disagree with me if you want, but I think that there's no way that anyone can put those 6 whiskies into order on a linear scale and not have subjective preference come into play, at least in some capacity. Quite a slightly mineral, chalky, like gravel note as well. Musty, dusty, cereal, gristy. A little bit of orange, flower. Much sweeter on the palate. Tiny little hint of sweet caramel, but really all about that orange and grist and malt and cereal. A real barley whiskey. So we will see what we've got in a minute, but where is this going to go on that bloody leaderboard? Oh my days. They're all just so different. See, if I was doing reviews of these, then probably the top 7 would all get a B+, I would say. And if I was doing this just for my taster notes on my own, then I would have them all as B+, and I'd have some as a B++, and a B+- and a B- and things like that, so that my own personal taster notes can reflect my kind of differential preference, but I tend not to do that when I do give marks on reviews, because it just makes it really confusing. But yeah, we've got a lot sitting around the B+ mark, and they're all different styles, and it's so difficult to do a leaderboard when they're like that. I think it beats the Ledaig Rioja. Does it beat the Bunnahabhain 12? God, that's so difficult. So really very similar quality level, but they're such different styles. I think it goes between the Bunnahabhain 12 and the Ledaig, and really the tiebreaker factor in there is that the Bunnahabhain, because it has that sherry, is perhaps a little bit more interesting to the average whiskey drinker. But I'm basically putting your thoughts into my mind to make the decision there, because they're all really much of a muchness in terms of quality, but they're just different styles. What have we got? Oh, bloody hell. It's another Distill product. It's a Deanston 12-year-old, which, can you guess, it's going to be 46.3, isn't it? Yeah, 46.3% ABV. Deanston 12-year-old. So we've got I think we've got the full portfolio of Distill there, haven't we? So, tasting those blind, I've put the Ledaig Rioja in at the bottom of the 3, and then the Deanston 12 above that, and then the Bunnahabhain 12 above that. But really, hats off to Distill that they've made 3 kind of... The Ledaig is not really the standard expression, I'd say the 10-year-old is. But they've got 3 sort of entry-level but well presented core range expressions there that all sit very close to each other in quality. But going back to what I was saying about subjective preference there, I guarantee that if you give the Ledaig Rioja, the Deanston 12 and the Bunnahabhain 12 to 100 people, you'll get probably 70 different orders of preference. Everyone will have a different idea of the gap between them and what's better. Well, perhaps not 70, because there's only 6 ways that you can order 3 different things. But anyway, you know what I mean. Really good whiskey though, and I stand by my judgment that this is a really good standard whiskey. It's not had any messing around, it's just solid, normal Scotch. And I have actually got a bottle of that upstairs. It's not open yet. I was kind of saving it actually. I was going to open the 12, the Virgin Oak and the 18 all together, perhaps do a live stream. Let me know if you're interested in that. I have no idea what I'm doing on live streams. It'll be an absolute mess, but that'll probably be a laugh. So yeah, had a little bit of a sneak peek there of the Deanston 12, and I really like it. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think of the Deanston 12, and how would you order like a Ledaig Rioja or a Ledaig 10 and the Deanston 12 and the Bunnahabhain 12, because I think that probably says a lot about you as a whiskey drinker, how you would order those 3. And there's really no wrong answer as far as I'm concerned. They're all excellent, affordable examples of very different styles. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.